Detroit Lions traveling to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football on Sunday, October 12, 2025. We got your best bets video for this game. We're going to have 2 player props, a total pick, and a same game parlay that packs a lot of value. My name is Steve. Let's lock in and get a sweep here on Sunday Night Football.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that cab made now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Let's have a big NFL weekend, guys. Super excited about what's to come. And I'm particularly excited about this matchup. I am a diehard Detroit Lions fan, so I'm obviously hoping the Lions win in Kansas City. I avoided picking the spread because I didn't want to be partial in this game. It was very hard for me to not be partial, obviously, in this particular game. So I really want to see the Detroit Lions win. But on a betting sense, we're going to pick a total, and we're going to pick a couple of player props for this game. Now, I don't have a results recap for you, obviously, because I'm recording this on Saturday, so we don't know what happened Sunday. Hopefully, when you guys are watching this, well, you might be watching it before all the Sunday games anyway, but if you're watching this later, closer to game time, hopefully we're having a big Sunday. We have a lot of content going around the channel. We have our NFL Week 6 Best Bets video for the 1 and 4 o'clock games. We also have our NFL Spreads and Totals video, which we cover every spread and every total in every game. That just kind of gets you a general overall feel for how the week hopefully will go. According to us, I mean, anything can happen. You guys know how all that works. But really excited for this. Make sure you guys don't forget to drop your favorite pick down below for this game. Put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in our next video if it hits. We call that our Comet Capper section, which you guys always do a great job in. We have a lot of very good Comet Cappers, so make sure you guys pay attention to that. Pay attention to the chat. Look to take those bets as well. Our Comet Cappers do very well as well. Without further ado, it's time to get after it, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. This game, really one of the better games, I think, of the season coming up. And obviously excited to watch this one. It's one of the more marquee games. Could be a Super Bowl preview. You never know. I would say maybe the Chiefs aren't quite looking that way right now, but you never know. Kansas City has a way to turn things around. But anyway, let's get after it, guys. Let's get right into our picks and get the sweep. At number 1, like I said, we're going with a total. We're going with the over 52.5 points in the Lions-Chiefs game, plus 100 odds on ESPN Bet. Yay, sports ball. Go team. Score points. I know how it feels taking overs. They don't appear to be very sharp. My buddy Eric May was busting me about that when I take overs in primetime football. Because, you know, it just kind of, it seems like a brainless bet at times. But here, there's a lot of good reasons why I'm looking at the over. For one, we've done pretty good with overs for starters, especially in primetime. You guys will know if you guys have watched our live streams, we've cashed a lot of overs, especially on Monday Night Football. But I think here we're going to see points. The biggest thing that really sticks out, I think no matter what, the Lions are going to score, right? They've scored 34-plus points in 4 straight games. So I don't think any defense could really stop them at this point. And the Chiefs aren't exactly what I like to call sharp right now, right? They allowed 31 points last week to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence had his way versus them for the most part. So I think, you know, once again, the Lions are going to be able to score on the Chiefs at this point in the season. I don't see a very dominant Chiefs defense, at least as of right yet. So the question really was on the other side. How much are the Chiefs going to score? And for me, I like 2 things. The Chiefs have figured it out offensively the last 2 weeks. They're averaging 32.5 points per game. Their offense looks a lot better. Kelsey's starting to get some more looks. Xavier Worthy's back in the action. The running backs are really starting to form a nice duo with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. So this offense is starting to look back on track. Mahomes is starting to look more like himself. He's getting some help from his receivers finally. So I like that. The biggest thing, though, the Lions defense is dealing with a lot of injuries. It's kind of looking like last year when that defense turned into butter. It's not quite that bad yet, but they're missing a Liam McNeil up front. Their big defensive tackle, which makes a huge difference, obviously, in the run game. And then in the secondary is where they're dealing with a ton of injuries. Terrion Arnold, Branch, Kirby Joseph. 2 of the 3 listed as questionable, 1 out. Terrion Arnold is out. And they were already having a little bit of trouble in the secondary anyway. If you go back to last week, Browning of the Bengals started tearing them up in the second half. I know it was a little bit in garbage time, but still, this defense is starting to look a little vulnerable, especially on that back end after dealing with those injuries. You're not going to be able to hold Mahomes down. Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, regardless of who he's got. And these receivers, like I said, are starting to step up. Tyquan Thornton really establishing a nice down-the-field threat for them. Obviously, Xavier Worthy, we know what he could do. He's back in the fray now. He's making a difference in this offense. Marquise Brown, a very serviceable receiver, and Juju Smith-Schuster, very serviceable receivers. And as long as Kelsey can kind of get back to what he used to be a little bit, this is going to be a very dangerous offense. So I think both offenses are going to be able to score. Like I said, both offenses have found themselves, and both defenses just don't look good to me. I watched the Jaguars play the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, and I was sitting there thinking, this just ain't the Chiefs' defense of old, guys. They can be taken advantage of for sure, as Trevor Lawrence did on the ground. There's a little bit of a lack of hustle. You saw that with Chris Jones. So I really do like the over, guys. I think it's going to hit. I know it's a high total, but I think it hits here today. Love it there for number one pick. We got the over 52.5 points in the Lions-Chiefs game, plus 100 odds on ESPN Bet. At number 2, we are going David Montgomery, over 41.5 rushing yards here for the Detroit Lions, minus 114 odds here on FanDuel. So Montgomery quietly has become one of my more favorite players to bet. We cashed, obviously, last time on them. I believe we took him last time when they played the Baltimore Ravens, and he cashed easy. He had 150 yards, and his rushing line was like 33.5 or something. So I don't think he's going to go for 150. It's hard to project that. He had a killer game on the ground. But I think he'll go over this mark. I think he'll get at least 50 rushing yards here. He's over in 3 of 5 games, 3 of his last 4, so he's finding that form we like to see. Ran the ball very well again last week, 65 yards. A lot of that coming in the second half. Really wore the Bengals down there, particularly in that third quarter. So we like seeing that. Last time he played the Kansas City Chiefs, he put up 74 yards on them. So he's very comfortable running on them. And, I look at a similar runner. Cam Scatterbo and Montgomery aren't the same. But they're between the tackles runners that kind of have a little bit of similarity. And Scatterbo averaged 6 yards per carry on this defense. 10 carries, 60 yards. I think Montgomery could do something very similar. I think he's going to have a very, very successful time running between the tackles. I think the Chiefs are going to have a hard time stopping him. Chiefs have allowed 4.8 yards per carry so far this season. So like I said, the run defense has not been very good this season as of yet. And I think this is another situation where even if it's a tough matchup, this Lions offensive line tends to move people. They got new guys forming on the offensive line that are taking the place of the ones that left and really starting to have that success that they had last year, getting a nice push off the ball. You should see it in this one too. And I think Montgomery will have some nice lanes. And like I said, he's built for this type of a game. A tough game versus a Chiefs defense is still good. But I think in between the tackles, he'll get the tough yards. And 40 is not really a lot to ask for here. Like I said, Chiefs defense allowing 4.8 yards per carry. So there's going to be some holes here. And I think the Lions are going to want to establish that run game on the road in particular, especially early on with Gibbs and Montgomery. But I particularly like Montgomery because his line is very reasonable at 41.5. So love it there for number 2 pick. We got David Montgomery over 41.5 rushing yards here for the Detroit Lions. Minus 114 odds on FanDuel. Okay. And finally at number 3, we're going with Juju Smith-Schuster over 23.5 receiving yards here for the Kansas City Chiefs. Minus 114 odds on FanDuel. Risking unit here. He is not the most obvious choice on the board. I'll be honest. I do have a feeling he's going to get some good looks though versus his defense. I think given the injuries, I could see the Lions dropping back into zone at times. You could see them play a little bit safe with some of the underneath stuff because the Chiefs do have a couple of burners that could get them. And Tyquan Thornton and Xavier Worthy, obviously. So what that sets up, if they're defending against that sets up guys like Juju and Kelsey to be those underneath guys to get the yards in the middle of the field, which is where Juju tends to live as a very good possession receiver. So I think he'll draw a lot of good matchups. We saw Cevis for the Bengals kind of do that a little bit to the Lions last week with 80 yards receiving. He was kind of that in-between guy. That was that guy right behind Higgins and Chase. And he had a lot of success. He had 80 yards receiving. We're looking for 24 here, guys, out of Juju. I think he can get that done. Like I said, given all the injuries, Lions 26th defense versus position yards allowed to receivers. So honestly, even without the injuries, this secondary hasn't been particularly great this season overall. But particularly here with Juju, I think he's going to have some nice possession catches here, and he'll be able to have success versus this Lions defense. Like I said, with the injuries in Lions secondary, and just the way I could see this game being played, if the Lions try to defend against those deep shots, Juju should get some good opportunities underneath. You also got to consider it's going to be a high-paced game, right? Total set to 52.5. So he's going to have a lot of opportunities in the pass game, I think, to get targets and to get receptions. So a lot of these lines I don't mind, but Juju sticks out to me as one I really like. So love it there for number 3 pick, guys. We got Juju Smith-Schuster over 23.5 receiving yards here for the Kansas City Chiefs, minus 114 odds on FanDuel. And then our same game parlay, we're going a little crazy. We obviously hit a crazy one on Thursday night. We hit a plus 3,500 on Thursday night. We're back with a plus 3,500 here. Plus 3,591 on Fanatics with our profit boost that they give us. Tyquan Thornton, 50-plus receiving yards. He's done this in 3 of his last 4 games. He doesn't get a ton of targets, but, man, he's the guy that could burn you deep. So if for whatever reason the Lions try to man up with Thornton, Thornton might just burn him. So if that were to happen, obviously, I'd like him to get 50. He can get this on one play. He's done that a few times. So I really like his line. Thought about going with him. His line's in about 20 yards for receiving. And like I said, Lions 26th DVP and the injury situation there. Xavier Worthy, anytime touchdown. I hate using this line, but the dude is due for a touchdown. He hasn't scored this year, so I think he finds his way into the end zone here. And he finally gets one versus a Lions defense that is not good versus wide receivers. 29th DVP and touchdowns allowed to receivers. So I think he gets one here today. And then Sam Laporta, anytime touchdown. He got one last week. He's the guy that got on track last week. So I think he's a guy that's going to very much be looked for in the red zone. And I think he'll be able to also get some good opportunities down the red zone. Like I said, high-paced game. I think Laporta will get some good opportunities as well. So, like I said, it packs a ton of value. We're only risking a tenth of a unit. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. But I think these are sneaky good looks with an opportunity, kind of like Thursday night was. Jackson Dart was not an obvious touchdown scorer. He was plus 400. But sometimes you got to be a little bold in what you take to be able to make the cheddar, guys. So that's our same game parlay. If you guys enjoyed the content, as always, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. Always appreciate that. Check out all of our other NFL content. We got NFL best bets for Sunday, 1 and 4 o'clock games. And then we have spreads and totals video where we cover the spread and total of every single game, which you guys can also check out. Outside of that, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.